Now, this one move will make bad ball striking impossible, and this is the move done by world #1 Scottie Scheffler, and this is why he can dominate the game with his superior ball striking. If you get this into your game, you will be taking your iron game and then your game to the next level by striking pure shots every single time. Now let's find out exactly what this one move is that Scottie does and 3 nice simple drills to get it into your game with no effort at all. So let's dive straight into it. So guys, let's dive straight into this analysis from the front-on angle of Scottie Scheffler. So this is something we see every single top tour player do and good player to control ball and turf contact. Scottie just does it a ton, which is one of the reasons why he's so superior with his ball striking. So as you can see, 2 big lines going from there. One, just an iron shot. Next one, driver off the deck. So if you want to learn how to hit a driver off the deck, stay tuned, because the move we could talk about, you have to do it a lot for driver off the deck. So let's look at the iron swing first. So with this center line, ideally it's telling us the amount of shift we're getting in the golf swing. So if we turn Scottie back here up to the top of his backswing, you can see he stays relatively centered up to the top. His head's a little bit behind with his tilt at setup, then gets to the top, turns pretty much around his center, feels the pressure going on to his trail side, which we're going to see a little clip after this analysis of Scottie's feels, of him talking about it. But you can see very centered. Now watch this. A lot of golfers will look at this and go, oh my God, he's sliding. So look as he comes down. Look at how ahead of that center line he is. Now for reference, let's go all the way back again. Look at where he is at setup. Look at where he is at the point of impact. He is almost completely in front of that red line with his lower body, and it's going through the right-hand side of his upper body. So what this does, this is shifting his low point really far forward. So it's going to guarantee that he is hitting ball and turf. So it is going to be pretty difficult to hit a chunk shot from here. And this is something we see amateur golfers massively do wrong all the time. Most amateur golfers will stay centered in the downswing and they wonder why they're hitting so many chunk shots. If you then copy Scottie Scheffler by shifting the entirety of the body, and you can see here, he's absolutely not just shifting with the lower body, he is shifting with the upper body here. There is a nuance here we're going to talk about when we get into his down the line angle of why his lower body is just that tiny bit ahead of his upper body. But you can see they're both shifting together. He's not sliding, he's not swaying, he is shifting his body a ton. I normally like to see players about here with their lower body in relationship to the red line. So that red line going through that right leg and about the right hand side. But you can see he's even more so in front, which is why he's a little bit different in that area with his iron shots and his ball striking than those other players. This is why he has that such crazy foot move, why his feet really slide. If you look at that back foot, look how much sliding it's going to do afterwards. That's because he's got so much lateral force, it is bringing his foot and he can't control it. It is continually moving forward. But for Scottie, not a fault. So you want to know how to hit driver off the deck? Watch this. So again, we've got that center line going through the middle of his body. Now, is he stereotypically, air quotation marks, shifting his weight into the right side? No, he's not. But you're going to hear in this clip, Scottie feels like he is. That's where, be careful on feels. So that's where he's staying pretty centered. But the big thing is, look at this. Look at how in front of it he's getting. So he is getting it so where even here, mid downswing, his whole lower body, his hips are in front of that red line. And look at what that's doing to the low point. Let me zoom in on the driver head here. This looks really cool. See at the downward trajectory it's taken into the golf ball. So this makes you hit more down. So where's his low point? Now he's coming up. So his low point was just around here. Now he's coming back up again. So if you want that low point to get after the golf ball, you really struggle with your irons. You fat them, you top them, you thin them. This is great. And if you want to hit a good driver off the deck, make sure you're getting that low point forward. Lowest point of the swing arc forward. And what have we got to do for that? Shift a ton. Now, we don't all have to get Scottie Scheffler's insane amount of shift, but absolutely 90% of amateur golfers that come to me for lessons, they all do not shift enough. So let's watch Scottie describe his feels of what he talks about, what he feels like in his golf swing, of him describing that foot movement. We're talking about that lateral movement, and then we're going to get a little bit more of an insight of why he shifts so much as a reaction to something on the down line, and then our 3 drills we'll dive into.
It's kind of always been a move for me. If you look at my swings from when I was a really little kid, that's kind of something I always did. And I was explaining it to someone the other night, and what made me think about it was, what I'm trying to do to get power in my golf swing is load into my right side and then come off my right side and go into my left. And so in order to get my weight all the way from here to there, when I slide my foot, it makes sure I get all my weight kind of through the ball. And I think Randy would be a little bit more upset with the footwork if my foot was moving in a weird direction, like if it was moving that way or if it was moving like back. But if the foot is just going this way, it's kind of going with the shot. And so what Randy says is that kind of helps me from having a left miss, is because I'm almost kind of moving with the ball. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was something I never really thought about too much. I've attempted occasionally to have the foot stay still, but I can hit some shots with it, but my feel is just not as good, and I'm big on feel. So for me, kind of sticking with what I've done for a long time, and I'm just trying to keep improving on that. So that's pretty much it.
Okay guys, let's get a little bit more in detail of what Scotty's big kind of shifting movement does. And that lower body being quite a bit ahead of the upper body at times. What does that do to his club shaft? Because it helps him massively compensate for something we're going to do here. But like we said, getting even a little bit of this into your game is going to be very beneficial. So let's get him up to the top on this front on angle. So one thing, okay, the camera angle is quite low. The lower the camera angle, so the lower your camera is to the ground, the more upright your swing is going to look. So for you videotaping your swing at home, get a tripod, because it is going to be distorting the view of your golf swing. So like with this camera being quite low, it's making his left arm look quite high. But Scotty Scheffler does have a higher left arm position than most golfers. What is that? That is a lack of left arm depth. So how does he make that work? Because when you have a lack of left arm depth, it makes the club go out in front of you, which is exactly what we see here. We see the club be a tiny bit steep. It's trying to shallow, but a little bit steep, a little bit out in front of him here. Most amateur golfers would early extend to get the club pitching back, or they would just keep rotating. The club's going to swing over the top. So Scotty Scheffler, you're going to see, does not do that. He gets that club back on path nicely at a nice angle, rotates good. Club exit left nicely. Now, I believe this will most likely be a short iron and maybe a little cut, slight cut shot as well, possibly. Looking at his release pattern. But absolutely, what does he do to be able to get that club back onto the ball properly? And look at all the pressures going into his feet. That's him pushing out the ground. Awesome. So, what does he do? We just talked about exactly what he does. And that is the hips moving a ton to the left. So hips and body. But those hips being that little bit ahead of the body, that will help the upper body slightly tilt back here. As you can see, that slight little bit of that upper body being backwards. Now, as we're going to see, what that does to your golf club, when that upper body is slightly behind the lower body, it will pitch the club more down. So it counteracts the movement of Scotty being a little bit out in front of himself and a little bit steep here in transition. So that's why it's so incredibly important to know matchups in the golf swing. So many golfers say the saying of swing your swing, and swing your swing is good if you are a top player in the world or you understand matchups. Swing your swing is not good if you're a 25 handicap with a slice and trying to get around actually practicing and working on your golf game properly. So that is where, from here, be very careful on seeing, let's say, this steep and slightly out move of Scotty Scheffler, and then applying that to your golf swing and thinking, Scotty's the best player in the world by far at the moment. He makes it work. I'm going to leave my golf swing, and then what's going to happen to your golf game? It's going to go straight up. Not in a good way. Handicap's going to go up. You're going to be 30 if you're 25 by this time next year. So you need to know, okay, Scotty is making this work, and golfers are making their individual moves work via matchup. Scotty via having the pelvis move more forward, upper body still moving forward, but a little bit behind. That pitches the shaft down, which gets in there. So please be careful when you're looking at the top players. They will have specific matchups that make it work, which is why on YouTube we talk about things that are easier to do for the mass of golfers who haven't hit millions of balls in their life to develop these matchups. So it's one incredibly important thing to know. So let's watch me demonstrating the drills, 3 good drills to get this shifting into your game. So this is not going to give you too much shift. This is going to give you a lovely amount to be able to practice in there. So 3 different ones from there. Now, normally, as you know from my videos, I will normally actually be hitting the balls. I'll be on camera more, as you have not seen me on camera yet. And that is because I've injured my hand. I currently cannot hit a golf ball because of accidentally, I had a fall, which then I hurt my hand. Luckily, it's not that bad, but it will be better in a week. I just can't hit balls, but I can still demonstrate on camera exactly what we need to do with the drills. So let's get straight to it. So, okay, drill number 1, the club across the shoulders shifting drill. So as you can see, rainy day here in Scotland with my injured hand. You can see I've just got the club across my shoulders and watch, I'm doing a little drift just in transition. Drifting and then turning. So watch again. Get up to top, drift, then turn. That's gonna get that pressure left and get you shifting. And like we can see in a minute, as I start to do this drift and shift, it gets me so onto my left side that right there, I lose my balance, just like Scotty Scheffler does, because I'm getting that weight so much forward. This is a great one to learn the basic movement of it. So, okay, drill number 2, and this is the step through drill. So as you can see, I'm getting my left foot over to my right, and as soon as I take the club back, I then shift. And of course, I'm stopping there at impact because I can't hit the golf ball. But as we can see, that's going to get the body movement. And I just get that ball out of the way there just to do a fluid practice swing. And there we can see, as soon as I take that club back, the left foot comes over to the right. You can see, left foot goes toward the target. So again, left foot over to the right. As soon as I take the club back, foot forward, and there we go. This is a great, awesome one, again, to get the move whilst you're hitting a golf ball. So the last drill here, ball forward drill. So this is my favorite one for this. So put the ball at the front of your stance, club out the middle, and just try to make as good contact as you can. Your body will subconsciously and naturally shift to get a really good rep in there. So if you've enjoyed the video, click the like button. For more golf instruction like this, click the subscribe button, hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.